Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Off Meta Musings. We're back. Warhammer Fest is now behind us. It was really cool. I've got a lot of stuff coming up from that. As we all know, we had the Warcry previews happen on Saturday. What I wanted to do was go to Warhammer Fest, take some pictures of the actual models that they may have shown off, and add them to this, but they didn't have any on display. They only did it via the stream. So we're going to do that. We're going to take a look at what they showed us for Warcry. We're going to talk a little bit about it and see how it goes. So here we go. This is the new box, Blood Hunt. If we go by the release date schedule they've set already, we should be looking at sometime next month for us to start pre-ordering Blood Hunts. That'd be pretty cool. And if we also remember, I think it would be about a month ago now, there was a leak of the Bloodhound contents. So we all knew it was going to be Stormcast and Flesh Eater Courts, but it's nice to actually see the models now, see them in good quality, and see some of the ideas that they had. So let's go through this. So we've got pious heroes and deluded cannibals come to blows over mismatching chivalric codes in Warcry. So let's see, the Verdant Nightmare Realm of the Gnarlwood. Okay, we've got chaos going on, some fight for honor and destiny. So we're talking about two crusading forces here. One is going to be sent by Sigmar to do whatever it is that Sigmar wants to do in the Gnarlwood, and the other one is going to be Flesh Eater Courts, who, as we know, they've got this delusion where they think they're heroic questing knights going off, saving damsels in distress, slaying foul beasts, when in reality they're just a pack of slavering ghouls that are going around basically eating everything. So let's see what we've got. We've got this video here. Let's go into this. Okay, so we've got the video going. Yep, it's made by Warhammer. Alright, pretty cool. Deep in the Living Jungle. We've got new Stormcast that go with Skull. They're fighting the Flesh Eater Courts. New Vampire, by the looks of things. The quest reaches its end. So yeah, something I want to mention here is that this makes up the last box of the current season. So hopefully, narratively speaking, what they've done is they've managed to find the Crash Seraphon ship, and maybe they talk a little bit more about what's going on inside there and what we can expect. Got new ghouls, very good. There we go, nice view of the new terrain going on. The box comes with the two Null Tree sprues that we've seen before already, and this new Ziggurat thing. They're saying it's a Realm Shaper engine, which is pretty nice. I quite like it as a piece of terrain. It's like a big old line of sight blocking thing. It's got stairs up one side, so it's not like it's completely impossible to get to. But by the looks of things, it's at least, I would say 4 or 5 inches tall. So it would take a good chunk of movement just to get up there. And that's it. All right. And there's an error. Fine. Thank you very much, Games Workshop. Right, so two warbands with very different opinions on virtue and hygiene set foot in the Gnarlwood in Warcry Nightmare Quest, the next expansion for Warcry. The box contains everything you need to embark on expeditions with the Questor Soulsworn or the Royal Beast Flayers. And there we have a picture of the box. So the Soulsworn, this is the Stormcast we're talking about, are unique among the Stormcast Eternals, existing outside the chamber structure. Each Soulsworn is selected by Sigmar himself to join the ranks of the Questors, giving them a chance to flex their muscles and express their heroic virtues to the fullest, doing most dangerous missions. Okay. The Paladins are solo agents wandering the realms to carry out the God King's will. They've been sent to the Ravening Ruin to keep the secrets of Talaxis from falling into the wrong hands. Okay, so what have we got? We've got this guy. We have a guy with a hammer. One of the skeleton skull dudes with a sword, axe. Yeah, so we effectively have what looks like, is it 6? 2, 4, 6. Yeah, we have 6 unique characters by the looks of things. Now, I'm not sure how this will work exactly in the confines of Warcry itself, because like the way that Warcry warbands work is you have one guy who's got the champion rune mark, and that's the leader of your warband, and then the rest of them are effectively the fighters in your warband. Now, the way they're describing it, it seems to be that they're all individual. So I don't know if they will all have the champion rune mark, or the hero rune mark rather, in which case they kind of break some of the core building rules, or it's going to be a case of they'll use the abilities table to really have each guy with a different set of rune marks, so each fighter will have kind of a different thing and a different niche that they bring to the battlefield. And let's see, the gallant warriors must contend with the royal beast flayers. They consist of cannibal courtiers that act as gamekeepers for their vampiric kings, stalking terrible beasts or innocent bystanders, but who's counting, that threaten their noble kingdom. They've got awful hounds to track their supposed quarry in return for glory with bloody pelts and trophies. Okay, so they're out to wreck the Realm Shaper engines because that's what all the bad guys are here to do. Here we go. So we've got this guy who's apparently, so this is coming from the stream itself. This guy's apparently a ghoul that's been allowed to suckle on his master's blood and become a vampire. So he's kind of shunned by both sides. He's looked down upon by the vampires themselves because he used to be a ghoul, and kind of looked down upon by the ghouls because he's no longer a ghoul, effectively. But to him, he sees himself as like a great duke or noble knight kind of going out to do what he needs to do. These guys, I think they're called the Gorehounds. Someone no doubt will be able to remind me. From a background standpoint, these are ghouls who have kind of slighted their master. And so what they've done is they've basically been put into a big old pit, and they've been fed on all of this magically corrupted flesh and all like the really horrible things that even the ghouls won't touch. And then they've kind of mutated into these kind of houndish beasts. Apparently, it's part of their delusion that they see themselves as like noble hunting hounds of their masters. So that's kind of fun. And then we've got some of the new ghoul sculpts, much better than the old ghoul sculpts. They're quite old now. I think they must be over 15 years old. The previous ghouls. I much prefer these. They're a lot more characterful. I think a lot less of that weird back hair with like skulls and bones woven into it, which I quite like. You've got this guy who's really cool. I like this kind of motif where you've got the skull mask and you've got all the bones that they use as armor. Overall, they look pretty fancy. As far as I know, let's take a look further down. No, they don't talk about it. So as far as I know, the set comes with 10 fighters. So we've got 2, 4, 7, yep, 10 fighters. So it kind of hits that sweet spot that you would want for a game of Warcry, especially on the Rumble Pack, where it effectively favors larger warbands and smaller warbands. I think what you're going to get is a bunch of normal ghouls. So maybe it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 3 or 4 normal ghouls. You'll have some medium guys, so probably these guys with the bone armor, and then generally you get a couple of special dudes. So you get the Lord, you'll get your shaman style fighter, and then a couple of fast fighters to round it out. So knowing nothing about the warband, it looks like it could be fairly balanced in terms of speed and in terms of models. So I'm very much looking forward to playing this and seeing how it goes. I know there's a couple of different builds that you can have. This guy, he's got like a spear arm, and he's got another head without kind of the flesh face. So that's also pretty nice to put some different options in the box. The new box also contains a stack of Gurish terrain, an overgrown and mysterious Realm Shaper engine from the Eye of Chotek, which can sunder the ground at command for anyone who controls it, so this is very nice. I really like this. I'm looking forward to using this with my Hunters of Wanchi, because they like kind of getting up on really using the verticality of the terrain to their advantage. So I really like this. This is probably a terrain set that I would get, even though it's copies of the same 2 trees and the barricade set. Nightmare Hunt also contains Might and Madness, which is a packed warband tome. So Might and Madness is effectively the tome that goes with the box, and that will detail all of the warbands, their abilities, and everything that goes with that. And they're also going to be in Age of Sigmar, just like the rest of the Warcry warbands that come before them. And what else have we got here? We also have a roadmap. So if we zoom in slightly. Okay, so this is where we are. So the next year's worth of stuff, we've got Nightmare Quest coming out in spring. So like I said, probably next month we'll be looking forward to putting that on pre-order. A new starter set coming in the summertime. This will line up with the rumors that we saw and the leaks that we saw, again, about a month ago, where they're going to be packaging 2 Warhammer Underworlds warbands, along with a bunch of terrain to kind of get a really like basic starter set going if you want to get into Warcry, just a very easy way in. And that's something I think that Warcry is missing, is a cheap way into the game if you don't already own an Age of Sigmar army. So I'm looking forward to that. The terrain looks pretty good. I think there's some new pieces in there, so we'll be able to check that out when it comes. But yeah, that's a positive step for the game. Then in autumn, we've got 4 new warbands, Order versus Destruction. So most likely 2 Order warbands and 2 Destruction warbands. Hopefully we'll get to see Cool Boys. I'd rather like that. give them some love because they don't yet have a presence in Warcry, so that'll be cool. In the winter, we're going to see 2 new warbands, so Order versus Death, so I guess one of each. It was unclear from the stream if by 2 new warbands they meant 2 Order and 2 Death, or just Order versus Death. But I think it's just going to be the 2. I'd like to see a Nighthaunt warband. I think that'd be really cool. I think they need something in Warcry kind of to give them a little boost, and releasing their own bespoke team I think would be pretty good for them. And then in the spring we've got 2 new warbands that we don't know what they are yet. And yeah, that's it. That's all they showed for the time being. Like I said, I was at Warhammer Fest. Here we go. Let's show these goals again. I was at Warhammer Fest, so I was at their Warcry event. It was 55 players. I've got a lot of coverage coming over the next couple of weeks for that, so that'll be interesting. Again, sorry it's a bit late, but you know, that's how these things happen. As always, if you like what you see, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know. Let me know what you think about the 2 new warbands. Let me know what you think about the new terrain. Let me know what you think about the roadmap if you're interested for that. I think that's the most interesting thing, to be honest, because if they're releasing standalone warbands, it means that we don't need to buy the tree box again. We don't need to buy any more terrain, and I think individual releases are kind of easier to manage than one big one every quarter. But yeah, that's it. That's it from me, and I will see you next time.